Well, it was a make it or break it decision in Greece today. A vote by the parliament there on whether to approve yet another round of austerity measures and therefore pave the way for Eurozone finance ministers to move forward on a bailout plan for Greece. The Greek parliament did approve the austerity plan. The vote was 199 to 74. Now, included in that plan, 15,000 public sector job cuts, the lowering of the minimum wage from 751 euros per month to 600 euros per month. Also, several other cuts in government spending, wages, and pensions that are sure to have some major impact on the people there. Well, this decision was seen as a necessity for the country to avoid default on its debt. But thousands in Greece are fed up with what austerity measures have already done to their lives and their economy. And, well, they made sure that that anger was known. Police estimate tens of thousands of protesters turned up in the streets to protest. They also set more than 40 buildings on fire and hurled rocks and fire bombs at police, who in turn used tear gas and arrested dozens of people. Now, the passage of the plan was seen as a major step, but the approval of a second aid package will not be decided until at least Wednesday, when finance ministers are scheduled to come together for a meeting. As you can imagine, a lot of people keeping their eyes on what's happening there. And to talk about what a few of these big decisions mean, I spoke earlier to the president of Euro-Pacific Capital, Peter Schiff. He's in Houston, Texas. Now, he told me why Greece has the right intentions in mind with this new plan. Take a look.
Well, it's the right direction. Maybe it's not the right order of magnitude. The problem is the austerity isn't austere enough. And, if the Greek people are protesting, it shouldn't be at the austerity. It should be the profligacy of the Greek government that made the austerity necessary. And as I said earlier, it's going to get more austere before it's over. But yes, they are moving in the right direction, albeit much more slowly than they should be.
So you think further and larger cuts should have been made than were decided upon?
Oh, absolutely. And I think they're going to be made. I also don't think the Greeks can repay the restructured debt. I still think that there's too much debt on the Greek economy, and they're going to have a bigger haircut to make it possible. But, what should really be so alarming is the extent to which Greece is broke, because they were just as broke a couple of years ago, but no one cared, and they can keep borrowing money. That's the same situation that we have in America. We're just as broke, except that we can keep borrowing because people haven't figured it out yet. But once the bubble bursts, once no one wants to lend us any more money, then we're in the same circumstances.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I mean, assuming that this bailout is approved on Wednesday, what do you think? I mean, is it one of those situations where it's going to get worse before it gets better?
It is. And as I said, I think there's more cuts coming, both as far as haircuts on the bondholders and more cutbacks in government spending. I mean, they shouldn't just be lowering the minimum wage, they should be abolishing it. But, a lot of countries have these minimum wage laws. It hurts their economies, but you still have too many people employed by government. You still have government meddling too much in the economy, and that has to stop. I think that what really should have happened is they should have defaulted completely, stayed in the euro, and dramatically cut government spending. That didn't happen. But I do believe that what they're doing now is better than simply leaving the Eurozone and trying to perpetuate massive government with a printing press and a drachma. Because if the Greeks think it's bad now, wait till they see how much worse it would have been if they took that path.
But, I mean, I'm wondering, for so many of these people that are in Greece, people who have been out of work already or will now lose their jobs, it sounds to me, I mean, 15,000 more jobs cut, less wages than even they were getting before. I mean, a lot of these people, this is going to really, really impact them. And, how are you going to stimulate any sort of economy? Is that just not even in the realm of focus right now, trying to stimulate their economy because they're just keep cutting and cutting and cutting?
Remember, a lot of these jobs were a drag on the economy. My point was they're better off without these jobs. The economy will be more productive if people stop working for government and work productively in the private sector. The economy was still going because the Greeks were able to borrow money and spend it. But that's what we're doing in America. They were perpetuating a phony economy. If you really want to create growth in Greece, people have to get fired from their government jobs so they can have more productive employment in the private sector. That's what needs to happen. All the austerity programs is Europe pushing Greece in the right direction?
Well, that's what I mean,
even harder.
a lot of people are looking at what happens in Greece as kind of, a model that once implemented will be used to deal with other struggling countries like Italy and Portugal. Do you think that's a good thing?
Well, I think it's a good thing that we're trying to rein in government. I don't think it's a good thing the way it's done completely. As I said, I think that rather than just going through this painstaking process, I think it would have been better off if the Greeks just restructured right off the bat, maybe had a complete default and stayed in the Eurozone, but made much bigger cuts in government spending than the ones that are being made now. So I don't think this water torture, which is kind of the way it is the best approach. But it is better than the Greeks trying to just preserve all this government by printing drachma, because that would lead to a bigger collapse. But, a lot of the reforms that Europe is forcing on Greece, they ought to look in the mirror, because they would benefit from the same types of reforms. It's, the pot's calling the kettle black. It's just that in this case, the kettle is blacker than the pot.
And that was Peter Schiff, president of Euro-Pacific Capital.